Before we started producing the opening sequence, as part of our primary research, we needed to analyse the openings to a number of revenge thrillers in order to get a feel for the genre, so that we could improve or modify some of these textual elements into our finished film to increase the versatility of our film, and also so that audience members could relate to the genre. We analysed the following films, which we felt gave us a wide spectrum of typical revenge thrillers, but also some actual crime thrillers which had revenge thriller aspects in them. We analysed Django Unchained, Inglourious Basterds, Memento, Death Sentence, Prisoners, The Rover, Law-Abiding Citizen, Out of the Furnace, Cold in July, Blue Ruin, and Seven.
In the films that we textually analysed, there was a wide spectrum of little to no sound. For example, in Blue Ruin, where the main protagonist hardly speaks but could still create meaning for the audience, we found this very inspirational and so didn't want to include a load of dialogue to detract from the action and ruin the tension we tried to accomplish with our film. Furthermore, in terms of a soundtrack, we were particularly impressed with the John Carpenter-esque soundtrack in Cold in July, which gave the film a degree of fun and wit, but in the end we chose to use a soundtrack by Johan Johansson in Prisoners, as it is a very dark, brooding score, and we felt this would elevate the tension for the audience and stay true to our film's very bleak, somber tone.
In terms of the mise-en-scène, we carefully chose locations which we felt would suit the film best. An example of this is filming the murder in a secluded forest to juxtapose nature and order, which is where the kidnapping took place, on a fairly busy street. We were inspired by the films Out of the Furnace and Death Sentence. Although the opening scenes did not show acts of violence, they were set in a very rural location, so we chose to use this aspect for our film to make it more like the genre.
We also didn't want to rely on too many props, so we tried to keep our film very stripped back and bare, which can be seen in our final product. We were particularly inspired by The Rover and Django Unchained, where these acts of violence would happen in barren, desolate locations, and particularly in The Rover. The characters are quite savage due to the economic crisis and doesn't have a lot of possessions, so we used this aspect for our film. So many films rely on CGI and visual effects and green screening. We wanted to try and make this film as bare and bad to the bone as possible. This also made our film much more character-driven, as the viewer focuses on the character and their development, not the expensive props and visual effects.
With regards to camera, we decided to never reveal the face of the murderer, after being inspired by Cold in July, which never showed the face of the man inside the house until the last moment. This gives the viewer a degree of curiosity and makes the film rather inconspicuous. We also filmed lots of establishing the openings so that we fire some of these